Hey everyone, welcome to Ellis Mowers. Next push mower we're going to work on is this. It's another Murray. It seems like I got Murray push mowers out the wazoo this year. Um, this one's not in particularly the best shape. However, it does have a good cable to start-stop cable, bell cable on it. And it's got gas in it. It doesn't look too bad, and the thing is that's kind of tempting to me is that I believe it stopped running because of the pull rope being ripped out of it, and hopefully that's the only thing that's wrong with it. That's very wishful thinking considering the condition of this mower. But hey, you never know. Hopefully it's a quick fix and we can make a quick $40–50 off of it. Get it out of the way. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Alright guys, let me give you a quick walk around on this, and the first thing I can tell you is that this mower has been repowered at some point. It is a 22-inch Murray. It originally, I guess, had a 3.5 horsepower Briggs on it. Somebody put a 4-horse Briggs on it, and honestly the conversion was pretty seamless. It doesn't, I mean, it's period correct and all that, which is, I mean, if you're looking at a lawnmower, you don't really care about that, but a lawnmower like this anyways, it's just got a basic blade on it, but the blade looks like it's in good condition, and it really feels sharp. So I'm not even gonna have to take anything off of that or take it off to sharpen it. Oil level is relatively non-existent. However, I don't know how long this mower has been sitting. One other thing I've noticed is that it still has gas in it. So, and I've got my 5/16 nut driver in my hand because we're about to check the air filter on it. That means the gas tank's not cracked, at least down toward the bottom, which is a good thing. This also has, if I need to replace the carburetor on it, it has a primer bulb option if I need to do that. So yeah, this air filter is kind of corroded and dry. However, I do have, it's got a chart, what do you want to call it? Throttle cable with a choke on it, so I don't know if that works like it's supposed to or not, but hey, we'll figure it out. I'll just pop this back on it for right now. So, as you can see, it's a little crusty and needing some love, but hopefully all I've got to do is put a pull rope in it and be good. I don't know of a good way to figure out that before I take it off. Or just, honestly, I might take the spark plug out of it and see if it's got compression and turns like it needs to. So let me set the tripod up very quickly and do that. If I can pull there we go. Let me set this tripod up, and we'll check this real quick. I can spin the blade, and I've already pulled the spark plug like I mentioned. So it won't fire on us. Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's got pretty strong compression. That's good, considering that the oil level was low. I think it's just because it's been sitting and maybe it oozed out over time. In terms of the carburetor, I don't know how good it's going to be, but we have that option when we replace it to put a primer bulb on this type setup, which is great. Since it's got the blank in there, I can just do that. So that's the quick look around. It's dark outside today, so we'll continue this video on the next day. Alright, let's get started. We first have to start by taking it apart. And we'll first start with the gas tank, which is a little bit different than the newer Quantum gas tanks. I have to be a little careful too, because this gas tank's getting old, and it probably will crack fairly easily if I'm not careful. So just doing 5/16 to get these bolts out up here first. Because we've got to get down to the pull rope. And once we get this gas tank off, it'll look familiar, just like any newer Quantum that they made up until, I don't know when they stopped making Quantum engines. I want to say they kept them on Toro until about 2016. 3/8 on the bottom here is what I'm working on. We're just going to go ahead and take this whole thing off instead of bending it back, because I don't want to stress the tank out too much. I'm getting pliers and a glass. We're going to drain out the rest of this gas here while we're here. Fuel line is going to be a given, considering the age of the mower, which I don't know how old it is. It's a 95. At least the engine is. Let's see. Let's see how bad this gas is. Oh. It looks, well, that part looked a little rough right there on the bottom. What was in the line. Just the gel and corrosion and stuff from old gas. I'll show you the, once it starts draining, I'll show it to you. But we'll let this drain and I'll catch back up with you in just a second. So there's the gas. Again, not the worst that I've seen. It's more like, I don't know if you call it dirt or sediment or whatever. You see it right there on the bottom of the glass. So not terrible. I'm sure the carb's filled with that, so it's probably got a little bit of corrosion, and not corrosion, but gummed up in the carb a little bit. Take the 3/8 off right here. Make sure you don't lose the grommet for the fuel tank for that bottom bolt. You can see it looks just like any other Quantum now. The pull rope's just facing the opposite way. So let's take it off. Let's make sure that we have a good recoil spring. I hope we do, because drilling out one of these is not the most fun thing. I have a 5/16 holding on the cable, so let me take that off as well. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see. Oh. It's got a bunch of rust in it. You see it trying to recoil, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw a bunch of lubricant down there. See if we can get this thing to free up. If we can get it to free up, we'll be in good shape. Finish off this can here. Look at, you see it starting to move better now? Move better already. Sun's kind of getting at y'all. So let's see if that makes any difference. Getting better. Just going to have to work it. I don't want to stress it out too much. Because if we can save the spring, then that's going to save me some work. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to be able to. See, it's trying. It's doing more than it was. Alright, so that's about the beginning. Turn it about maybe 3 or 4 times to see if we can get any recoil action now. It's rusty crusty in there, I know that. Just from where it's been sitting a while. It's either rusty or it's rubbing. It may be rubbing actually. So if it's rubbing, then what I could potentially do is pull this out a little bit, because I see where right there is trying to give me a rub spot. So I'm wondering if I can take some pliers and pull this area out just a little bit, or even a screwdriver. Screwdriver might work better. Just don't know how to exactly approach it. Trying to get it bent out. But that kind of looks like what my problem might be, is that this has had some sort of impact or shifted or somewhere along those lines on the front here. Because you see, I guess it's trying to drag right there. And I think if I could get that mount out, then I think we'll have a smooth recoil, especially considering that the lube really fixed it. So let me work on that off camera. I will see if I can bend it back. I will tell you how I bend it back if I'm able to successfully do it. And we'll see if we can save this thing. Alright guys, there we go. New pull rope in, and what the issue was exactly what I thought it was. We had a clearance issue on the front here of the pull rope recoil, where it got damaged, or this has shifted around or something along those lines. I just took a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, put it up against my wall and just beat it out, and it worked. So obviously we got a bunch of just junk here on the engine. I'll lube up some of this stuff. I'll give it a good wash too. And I'm wondering, and I guess it worked, somebody did a nice, I'll give them credit, because they did a conversion or an engine swap, and when they did the engine swap, they put a cable on it, a stop cable, and then the carburetor, I guess, was a choke carburetor. They kept that carburetor on it, and these carburetors are really good. The only thing is, you're going to have to reach down when you first start it and pull the choke back. The choke and everything works on it, and hopefully the carburetor's not damaged to the point that I can't save it. And if the flywheel key is sheared, there will be no getting to that, because the bolt is actually starting to round off from rust. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. I will, the fuel line's pretty pliable actually, but I'll go ahead and replace it while I'm here too. And I'll put the cover back on it, and before I put the gas tank on it, I think I'm just going to throw some carb spray down the throat and see if it'll actually kick over for us. I do need to add a little bit of oil to it before we get anywhere with it. Alright, y'all, I put some used oil in there because that thing was bone dry and I don't want it to be seasoned up or anything, even just on this little hit. I do have some carb spray. Obviously I don't have the gas tank back on it yet, and I'm just going to see if it'll kick over and fire for us as is. Well, I just learned a whole heck of a lot right there. You're not doing a double take. You don't see the gas tank on it. So, this thing right here, I took the carb spray, sprayed it, started on the first pull, and ran the gas out that's been sitting in there for who knows how long out of the carburetor. How about that? That's crazy. I think I might go ahead and wash the mower as it is before I put the gas tank back on it. And then I'll put the, gosh, it's running so well I don't even know if I want to touch anything in the tank. I'll put the gas cap on the tank and obviously wash this, because this thing really needs a wash. Put new fuel line in it, put a new air filter on it, and see if it'll run long term. How about that though? The old Briggs carbs just doing amazing work. Sit for years with old gas in it and start right up with some starting fluid. Awesome. Alright, gas tank's back on, new air filter's in. I do still need to change the oil. I did put a little bit of lube on the wheels, see if we can get the adjusters freed up. But for all intents and purposes, this thing is done, aside from the oil change. Granted that if it starts here, hopefully I didn't waterlog anything. Still can't believe that thing just started right up when I sprayed the carb spray in it. But let's see if it starts up now. I'll also even put the pull rope back in the little loop up there. So yeah, we got a little water in it, so let me see if I can purge that out. little bit of water on the plug. Maybe not. So I think I have a little bit to deal with here with the water. Yeah. I think I'm just going to break open the carb bowl and get whatever water may be in there out. And once I get it running smooth, I'll rejoin you and we'll do a wrap on this thing. Give y'all a walk around here. Just making sure it's water, not gas. So you have two ways to cut this thing off. You can either cut it off up here with the front or with this pull bar on the back. So whoever had this did a pretty decent job doing an engine swap on it, especially considering the age of the mower. So who knows how long the engine swap's been done on this thing. But I guess they had the 3.5 horsepower Pulsa Prime. The stickers worn off of it already, so I don't know how old the deck is, but probably I would say that the engine is probably, or it is a 96. I'd probably say the deck is probably early 90s, probably more like 91, 92. So it probably had a Pulsa Prime, or could be late 80s, I don't know. Probably had a Pulsa Prime carb on it, which those are a nightmare to work on anyways. So this quantum setup is much better. Let's see if it restarts. So I'm gonna change the oil in it, and that's it really. So I'll back y'all up and we'll finish this bad boy off. So that is currently the last push mower for the season. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Camera's a little bit high. Let me lower y'all down, make it a little bit more realistic here. So this is the last push mower for the, not for the season, but for my spring rush that I already had here. That has a chance of being good. I have one more Murray back there that I want to do an engine swap onto a Tecumseh, but I still have, I don't have enough parts here, or I've got to retrofit some parts, so I think I'm going to hold off on that. I've got some riders that I'm going to work on next. So I hope y'all have enjoyed the stint of push mowers that I've worked on, and this one really was very easy. Seems like the ones that have looked the worst have been the easiest here in recent days, and the ones that have, or recent weeks, the ones that have been the best, or the ones that have been the worst to work on, are the ones that have looked the nicest. So looks can be deceiving. I'll list it for $40. Somebody will come pick it up for that price. It's a good lawnmower, and it will serve its purpose. The only thing we had to do was put a pull rope on it. The blade was already sharpened. I did have to put an air filter on it, and I've got to change the oil on it, but nothing apart from just a regular little service. So I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.